We're heading away on a boating adventure today in company with two other boats. We're attempting to conquer the Palestone Passage. Our voyage takes us from the Gold Coast right up across Moreton Bay to Caloundra on the Sunshine Coast.
There are two paths to take in life, one of freedom, one of pain. And all that I am, I give to you.
The first stage of our voyage takes us from the Sovereign Islands in the Gold Coast Broadwater to the Canipa Channel along the southwestern coast of North Stradbroke Island, ending at the Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron's anchorage at Canipa Point on Russell Island. We depart on a rather dull, showery morning and meet up with Dennis and Jill in their Riviera 35 just off the mouth of the Coomera River. With the weather clearing nicely, we spend our first night ashore having a barbecue.
Alright, here we are.
Here we are, we finally got it.
Stage one.
I was going to say, and if we're staying in tonight, we can take our own bar to a shore, like, use the facilities, but it's just kind of like, I've got all this food on board.
Day 2, our intention is to head up into Moreton Bay to spend a night at Aquatic Paradise tied up to Lloyd and Barb's pontoon before our 3 boats continue to Bribie Island the following day. With a forecast of a 25-knot southerly blow this morning, which can cause a dangerous swell across the bay, we make our decision to press on to Aquatic Paradise. Our early start gives us perfect conditions for most of the voyage. We organise the rescue of an abandoned dinghy by radio to the Coast Guard, just south of Hybers Light, but soon we enter the leads into Aquatic Paradise. It takes us a little over 2.5 hours across the bay, and the afternoon is well spent socialising beside Lloyd and Barb's pool, with a great dinner to follow. We finally continue our voyage after 3 days tied up to the pontoon, while 30-knot plus winds raged across Moreton Bay. Lloyd and Barb catch up near St Helena Island after having given us a 30-minute head start. We pass Brisbane City, the entrance into the Brisbane River, the coffee pots, and outer leads. It's so very pleasant to enter the sheltered entrance to the Pumicestone Passage, particularly after the easterly track from Deception Bay, having experienced a wild rolling ride from the southerly fetch build-up across the whole length of Moreton Bay.
Lifetime is like a grain of sand. The serenade of nature's gonna wake us to fire to dance on this earth. To dance, to dance, to dance.
I'm sorry.
Mama way, mama way, mama way, mama way.
The real challenge is our voyage through the Pumicestone Passage as it dries out at low tide, particularly in the skids, W's and narrows. Our boats need a minimum depth of 1 metre. Another problem is that within a distance of only 1.5 nautical miles, the high tide has a difference of 1 hour and 20 minutes. With this in mind, we plan on spending a night at Mission Point so that we can make an early start through the most difficult areas.
Down by the firelight.
This afternoon begins so wonderfully as we amble up from Banksia Beach anchorage to Mission Point. Disaster, however, unfolds rapidly as Mystique Princess backs off from a shallow area and the dinghy floating rope gets sucked down under the boat. Suddenly, with a jolt, the boat is dead in the water, and the dinghy, with a new outboard motor, is rapidly drifting off in the tide. All anchors are deployed, and Dennis assists in a dinghy recovery operation. Blair has no option but to don the togs and mask in order to investigate below.
It's quite tight around the prop and shaft. I'll have to cut some.
With the strong tidal flow ripping under the boat, it's a major effort holding on with one hand to the rudder and trying to prise the rope away from the prop shaft with the other.
Got some rope.
When the dinghy went down, it smashed the lazarette bilge pump skin fitting, so we also make repairs by plugging the hole with a bottle top and rigging an alternative hose from the bilge pump.
There's unity between heaven and earth.
A hot shower and a strong rum and coke at this beautiful anchorage as we settle in for the night. Another beautiful morning greets us as we make our way north, hoping to be able to cross the skids, narrows and the W's today. We plan to arrive at the skids about an hour before high tide, so that by the time we get to the W's, it will be high tide there. The channel takes us right into the shoreline and the trees brush the side of the boat. We touch bottom 3 times and wind down has to stop as one stern leg won't retract. We take a breather and a coffee at the beautiful Roy's anchorage before pressing on at cruise speed to the Blue Hole anchorage at Caloundra. It's with satisfaction and relief at having achieved our goal to conquer the inland Pumicestone Passage. We settle in for a few days' rest at Caloundra.
That's gone bad now. Friday still all right?
Friday's looking better.
At this point in time. You know, the bottom line is if it came back, we'd have to go a day early. So.
Yeah, that's right.
But 2 days there, even if we had to come back one down there.
Caloundra is the southernmost community on the Sunshine Coast and has a greater population of around 90,000. Our last day at Caloundra sees us take our dinghies across to the Caloundra Powerboat Club for a really nice lunch. We explore the canal suburbs before heading back to our boats. It's with some confidence that our fleet leaves Caloundra on a bright sunny morning for the voyage back south. Planning the same tides as our trip north means that the tides will be rising as we proceed through the shoals. Our confidence is dashed somewhat as Mystique Princess comes to a halt right at the entrance to the W's, so we have to shunt across this shoal.
This is the skids now, isn't it? Here? Yes, it is. Yeah, well, it's 10:15 high here.
We slide across the bottom another 2 times before finally reaching deeper water south of the skids. Another couple of peaceful days at Banksia Beach anchorage at Bribie Island, and we celebrate our successful mission with a dinner aboard Mystique Princess, avec mein Host.
Cheers all. Cheers. Macca's.
We made it.
The weather gods stay with us as we depart the Pumicestone Passage and head out across Moreton Bay. Wind-down hits 50 knots as she leaves us in her spray and awaits our arrival at St. Helena for breakfast. say goodbye to Barb and Lloyd and continue on to RQ Canipa Point Anchorage for our last barbecue dinner and drinks on the voyage.
And I hear your whispers, spirit of the land, spirit of our ancestry will always remain with me. Spirit of the land.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
The last
To a
night.
great trip.
Oh, fantastic trip.
Good navigation.
Mate, we conquered.
The pumice stone
Was it?
country.
We came, we conquered something
Came, we
else.
saw.
And at the
conquered.
bottom,
We came, we saw, we conquered.
and at the bottom you put, and we even got back.
We even got back. So far.
So far.
Yeah, that's true.
There are two paths to take in life, one freedom, one of faith.
An early morning start as we make our final leg to our home ports.
As every moon rises, your beauty shines on and on. River flow freely, river flow wide, ever so gently, chasing the land. River flow freely, river flow wide, river will always be beautiful. You're beautiful.
A great voyage and excellent company. Yes, where others dare not go, we came, we saw, we conquered.
Beautiful.